What we wanted to do with the game was to really have that unique selling point of playing 4 different Spider-Man within one game. It's not just your typical amazing Spider-Man, the hero that everybody knows. It was also about bringing new versions of Spider-Man within one game. So we have 4 playable Spider-Man. We have Amazing Spider-Man, we have Ultimate Spider-Man, we have Spider-Man Noir, and Spider-Man 2099. All coming from the comic book inspiration, but from different dimensions. What's important to say right off the bat is that each dimension has its unique art style. So Amazing Spider-Man has this sort of vintage comic treatment to it. So for like comic book collectors out there, this is great. Amazing Spider-Man, it's all about web-based combat. So when you're fighting your way through the levels, you actually form shapes, giant shapes with your webs, like hammers, maces. You can suck up pieces of the ground and throw them at the enemy. So it has this very unique and spectacular looking combat style. If we're talking about Ultimate Spider-Man, well, Ultimate Spider-Man wears the black suit. The art style of Ultimate Spider-Man is really cel-shaded, so it's contemporary comic book style, very bright, young, fresh. And wearing the black suit allows Spider-Man to trigger what we call the Rage Mode. When you trigger the power of the Rage Mode, you can unleash devastating attacks that can wipe a lot of enemies on the screen at the same time. That's totally exclusive to Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, if we're talking about Spider-Man Noir, this is brand new. It's really dark, gritty. It has this film noir quality. It's all about stealth. All levels take place at night, and it's all about moving, using the shadows, and taking the enemies down one by one. Otherwise, you might get killed. And if we're talking about Spider-Man 2099, then it's a very futuristic rendering of New York City. And so we have free-falling sequences, like high-diving sequences, base jumping, if you will, when you're chasing down at high speed after the villain, or inverted free-falling when you're actually moving away from obstacles or even the villain himself. And we also have what we call accelerated vision, which is something that allows the player to slow down everything around him while maintaining his own speed, because Spider-Man 2099 moves really fast. So that's what we have. These are the main distinctions of the 4 dimensions. The way the story works is we have to talk about the Tablet of Order and Chaos. That's the mystical artifact that gets shattered at the beginning of the game as Amazing Spider-Man is trying to prevent Mysterio from getting his hands on it. As they're fighting, Spider-Man unfortunately breaks the tablet, and all the fragments are sent through multiple dimensions. So Madam Web, the sort of overseeing character that can see things through past and future and different dimensions, actually warns Spider-Man that she's going to need to recruit the help of all the Spider-Men from these multiple dimensions to retrieve each fragment. So the story is in parallel. So each character tries to retrieve the fragments in its own dimension. So the way it works is we have a story in 3 acts. In each act, you get to choose one level of each dimension, and in any order you choose. You complete the level, you retrieve a fragment of the tablet, and then you move on. So the story is in parallel. So they actually know, they're aware of their existence, but they're working their own dimension towards the same goal. Replayability, we thought about that a lot. So there's a lot of things for people who want to replay the game and go over it over and over again. Of course, we have different difficulty settings, so easy, medium, hard. But with each setting, you can actually go through the levels with any level of difficulty settings you want, because it unlocks different things for the player. So we reward the player with different things. If you complete a game on easy, you'll only unlock certain things. If you complete the game on medium or hard, then you'll get rewarded more stuff. On top of that, we rate the levels, the performance of the player through each level with medals, and you can only earn platinum medals by playing through hard levels. So, and there's a big chance you have to go through the levels more than once to actually get the best score out of each level. Also, within the game, we have 180 challenges. It's almost like sort of an inner achievement system within the game. So 15 challenges per level that requires the player to fight a certain way, complete the level a certain way. So by completing these challenges, you're being rewarded with what we call Spider Essence. This serves as sort of our currency or experience points, if you will. You can exchange that for upgrades, new moves, alternate suits, more powerful combos, and this kind of stuff. So basically, we have a whole lot for players who just want to come back for more. There's no multiplayer for this game. We really wanted to focus at providing the best single-player experience possible. After all, Spider-Man doesn't really have a sidekick, and we thought it was making more sense to really have the deepest, the strongest single-player game possible. There's no co-op, no multiplayer. There's no online aspect, to the game. But it's a really kick-ass single-player game. That's what I would say. In North America, will be released on September 7th. In Europe, it's September 10th. And for Australia, I think it's like around the end of September. I'm not sure about the date. Yes, so it's coming up on all consoles. So PS3, Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360. There's also a DS version developed by Kryptonite. Beanox were responsible for all 3 console versions.
It's time for the Vulture to feast.